Coach, what did you see from special teams that made you happy from last week?
I think the biggest thing right now is we're doing all the kind of the things that you have to, like I told our guys after the first of the season, the first game really, we got to do something to affect the game every week. And that's the good thing about special teams. Like I think I told you guys, I think it's my job to do something that affects the game special team wise, whether it's covering a kick, returning kicks, blocking a punt. And I think, the other day is one of those deals, field position wise, I think we outgained him like 30, 35 yards, something like that. And those are big deals because we look at that, that's 3 first downs, because Austin punted, we pinned him inside the 10, I think 3 times, or inside the 5 twice. So that's kind of the way you affect it. And then, we had another chance on a block punt, we're just pressuring people. And I think you got to put that on film that, we're going to do stuff like that. And I think that helps you when you play other teams.
And you've been banging the drum for Taj, and Taj got his.
Yeah, he got it.
He got his time to shine.
And even go back to a couple of games ago where he didn't have his carries. But the thing that Taj does is he affects the game just with his pass protection and his presence. He is. You guys see, y'all know what Taj is all about. And but yeah, I was glad last game that he got it. And we've got, coach knows we're going to run the ball. That's just Taj can get those yards and he can make big plays, and he's hard to take down. And like I said, throw all that out the window. He's a phenomenal person. That's why I beat his drum so hard.
Other than Taj, Coach said Cameron's coming back this week, and you got Nehemiah some reps last week.
We got Nehemiah dialed up. Nehemiah had a great spring at running back, and Cam did too. Cam's been banged up, and kind of my philosophy is I want those guys, I don't want to play, especially at running back, you can't play a kid hurt just because they're so big in protection in this offense. And, he wasn't comfortable. And so Nehemiah got his shot, and, Nehemiah did some great things. He's athletic, and he does some things, run the ball. So I think we're going to use all 3 of them again this week. Cam probably a little bit more of a role that, that he didn't have. And both of them on special teams as well.
Back to special teams, kind of a random question. I don't know if you watched the New England game over the weekend.
Yeah, I got that in about 40 texts right after that happened from everybody on that play.
Is that something you guys, it seems like you've got some speed guys. You already use Owens.
Yeah, I know. I wish I was the one that did that first because I'd lay claim to it, but I wasn't. But I think more so than anything for me, it was more of when someone does that, you've got to basically change up what you're doing snap count wise, and because they shouldn't be able to do that. If there's a guy out there, it just all you got to do is hold the snap and then the play's dead. So, but yeah, I thought it was awesome. Like anytime someone does something new, I just said, think how many high schools and colleges are going to be doing that this week. So, but we're not one of them.
Coach, you mentioned Nehemiah getting some more carries, and you still got Bryson Donnell back there as well. But what does Nehemiah do maybe better than Bryson, or what does he maybe bring to the table differently that he's getting those carries instead of Bryson?
I think Nehemiah's speed. He was a running back in high school, and he's played running back. So Nehemiah he's a playmaker, whether he's catching the ball or he's running the ball. And so I think when you've got that, he kind of adds that dimension to our offense of being able to get the ball in passing routes out of the backfield and being able to run the ball. And so that's the one thing I think he's probably a little different than everybody. He's good both catching and running.
So what do you feel like you still need to work on this week as Big 12 play begins?
We've got to win. That's the bottom. Honestly, there's no work. This is where it all starts. I told them, if we really think we're a Big 12 champion team, you got to win right on the road. We got to play better on the road. Coach has been telling us that. He's told our guys that. We got to come ready to play on the road. It's going to be a great environment. They had a big win last week, and like I said, there's no BS around it. You want to win the Big 12 championship, you got to win on the road. So that's what we got to get. That's what we got to do.
What is their defensive line? What do they do then?
You know what? Their defense, they move. They do it. Their scheme wise, they do some things. Their defensive ends are, they're twitchy. They're athletic, and their guys up front. Like I said, they move those guys around some. And so that's going to, that always creates problems when you have, athletic guys on the edge. However, our offensive line, we've been running the ball the last couple of weeks pretty good. So, we're up for the challenge. Those guys, Coach Hamby have those guys. Those guys are ready to go. So we'll be fine. We just got to, take care. When you play athletic guys, you just got to take care of your responsibility.
Have you seen any sort of difference based off of last year's game to this year with West Virginia?
You know what? Honestly, their defense is a little different than it was last year. But at the end of the day, It's not about them. It's about us. We just, because I think what Coach Kitley does, you guys have watched the games. It's we're sometimes our own worst enemy, and we just gotta go out there and not make the mistakes that have been stopping drives, or like I said, drive killers and drive starters. We got to get yards on first down and not go backwards.